Number 1. The body under the hotel bed. You've heard of bed bugs, but what if something far worse is hiding beneath your hotel bed? In multiple real-life cases, hotel guests complained about a foul odor in their rooms. At first, staff blamed it on smoking or old carpets. But when the stench didn't go away, they checked beneath the mattresses. What they found shocked the nation: a body stuffed inside the bed frame or box spring, rotting, hidden in plain sight. This happened in 2003 at a Kansas City motel, where a man slept above a corpse for 3 nights. Other chilling discoveries were made in Florida, Las Vegas, and Atlantic City. All followed the same terrifying pattern: guests unknowingly sleeping inches above murder victims. These weren't legends, they were front-page news. So next time you check in and something smells off, maybe check under the bed, because what's hidden there might haunt your dreams forever. Number 2. The real-life Candyman. Parents always warned kids not to trust Halloween candy, but no one thought it was real until it was. In 1974, 8-year-old Timothy O'Brien died on Halloween night in Texas after eating pixie sticks laced with cyanide. The media exploded with panic about strangers poisoning treats, but the real monster was even worse. His own father did it. Ronald O'Brien, later known as the Candyman, poisoned his son's candy in a life insurance plot. He even gave poisoned candy to other kids to make it look random. Thankfully, none of them ate it. The case horrified the country. O'Brien was convicted and executed in 1984, but his crime gave birth to a terrifying myth that Halloween candy from strangers could kill. Even now, parents obsessively check treats on Halloween, all because of one real-life murder. Number 3. The killer in the backseat. It starts with a woman driving alone at night, headlights flash behind her. The car speeds up, follows close, she panics. He's trying to kill her, she thinks. But when she finally stops and runs for help, the truth comes out. The real threat was in her backseat the whole time. This urban legend sounds like a horror movie, but it actually happened. In 1964, a New York woman was saved when a gas station attendant tricked her into coming inside, claiming there was an issue with her credit card. Once safe, he revealed he'd seen a man with a knife hiding in her backseat. Similar true cases have been reported across the U.S., especially during the 80s and 90s. The lesson? Always check your backseat, especially if you're parked in an isolated area, because sometimes the killer isn't following you. He's already in the car. Number 4. The Watcher House. Imagine moving into your dream home only to receive a letter that says, "I am watching you." That's exactly what happened to the Broaddus family in Westfield, New Jersey. Just days after buying a $1.3 million house, they began receiving creepy, anonymous letters signed by someone calling themselves the Watcher. The writer claimed to have been watching the house for decades. They knew personal details about the family and their kids. The letters got more disturbing, asking if the children would be used to repopulate the house. Terrified, the family never moved in. Despite police investigations and DNA testing, the identity of the Watcher remains a mystery to this day. The story inspired books, documentaries, and a Netflix series, but no one was ever arrested. It's the real-life nightmare of being stalked by someone who knows everything about you and is always watching. Number 5. The Green Man, Charlie No Face. In Pennsylvania, tales of a glowing, faceless man walking dark roads haunted generations. Teens called him Charlie No Face or the Green Man, a disfigured figure said to melt lights with his presence. But the truth was even more tragic and real. His name was Raymond Robinson. As a child in 1919, Raymond was horribly electrocuted by a trolley wire, losing his eyes, nose, and much of his face. He survived but rarely left home, except at night. Raymond took long walks along Route 351 to avoid stares. Drivers and teens would see his silhouette and run, believing they'd seen a ghost. Some locals even sought him out, taking photos and leaving him beer or cigarettes. He was no monster, just a man trying to live in peace. Raymond died in 1985, but the legend lives on, blending fact and fiction into something unforgettable. Number 6. Cropsey. For years, kids on Staten Island whispered about a boogeyman named Cropsey, a madman who lived in the woods, snatched children, and dragged them to the ruins of an abandoned asylum. But in the 1980s, the legend came true. Andre Rand, a former employee of the Willowbrook State School, a real institution later shut down for abuse, was arrested for kidnapping several children. Some were never found, others were discovered buried. Rand lived in tunnels beneath the asylum grounds and matched the terrifying details whispered in the Cropsey myth. He was convicted and remains in prison, but suspicions linger that he was involved in more disappearances. What began as a campfire tale became a documented case, one that continues to haunt Staten Island. Number 7. Snakes in the toilet. It sounds ridiculous until it happens to you. You walk into your bathroom, lift the toilet lid, and there it is, a snake. Coiled, hissing, alive. This urban legend has terrified homeowners for decades, but it's no myth. Real cases of snakes crawling up toilet pipes have happened all over the world, including Florida, Texas, Australia, and even urban cities like New York. In 2021, a man in Austria sat down only to feel a sharp pain. When he stood up, he found a python slithering in the bowl. The snake had escaped from a neighbor's apartment and entered through the plumbing system. Pythons, boas, even venomous species have all been found inside residential toilets. How? They slither through old pipes, sewer lines, or cracks and end up exactly where you least expect them. It's no longer just an irrational fear, because what was once dismissed as urban legend is now a plumbing nightmare. Number 8. The Phantom Hitchhiker. You're driving late at night. A young woman appears by the side of the road. Drenched, silent, you offer her a ride. She gives you an address. When you arrive, she's gone. Just gone. This chilling tale has been told for decades, the phantom hitchhiker who vanishes from moving vehicles. But what if we told you some of these stories are based on real police reports? In Chicago, there's Resurrection Mary, a famous case where dozens of drivers claimed to pick up a young woman in a white dress near Resurrection Cemetery. She'd ask for a ride, speak quietly, then disappear before reaching her destination. Some even claim she walked straight through cemetery gates. Whether it's a ghost, a hallucination, or something in between, too many accounts match to dismiss it completely. The phantom hitchhiker story blends fear, mystery, and the thin line between life and death. Number 9. Annabelle the Doll. Before she haunted movie screens, Annabelle haunted real lives. The actual Annabelle wasn't porcelain. She was a simple Raggedy Ann doll. In the 1970s, 2 roommates claimed the doll would move on its own, change positions, and even leave handwritten notes. They contacted famed paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, who concluded the doll was possessed by a demonic spirit. Annabelle allegedly attacked visitors, choked a priest, and even caused fatal accidents after people mocked her. The Warrens locked her in a glass case at their occult museum in Connecticut, warning never to touch her. That very warning inspired the Conjuring universe, where a fictional Annabelle terrorized audiences worldwide. But the real story, still debated. What's undeniable is the number of people who feared her and the strange events surrounding her case. Number 10. Ed Gein, the Butcher of Plainfield. Behind a quiet farmhouse in Plainfield, Wisconsin, lurked one of America's most disturbing killers. Ed Gein wasn't just a murderer. He was a body snatcher, grave robber, and real-life inspiration for Psycho, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Silence of the Lambs. In 1957, police searched his home, and what they found was pure horror. Furniture made from human bones, a belt stitched from nipples, a lampshade made of skin, and most haunting of all, a woman's suit crafted from corpses, which Gein confessed to wearing. Gein had only been officially charged with 2 murders, but evidence suggested far more. He mostly dug up bodies, taking parts to recreate his deceased mother. Declared legally insane, he was institutionalized for the rest of his life. His crimes blurred the line between monster and man and proved that sometimes the most horrifying legends come from real people. Number 11. The Funhouse Corpse. At a carnival funhouse in Long Beach, California in the 1970s, a film crew was setting up a scene for the $6 Million Man. But when a worker moved what looked like a dusty mannequin, its arm snapped off, revealing a human bone. This wasn't a prop. It was a real corpse, and it had been hanging in the funhouse for years. The body was eventually identified as Elmer McCurdy, an outlaw killed in a 1911 shootout in Oklahoma. When no one claimed him, a funeral home embalmed his body and charged people to see it. Over the years, his corpse was sold to sideshows, wax museums, and carnivals. Passed off as a dummy. By the time he was discovered, he'd toured the U.S. for 65 years. Yes, a real human body hanging in plain sight. Number 12. The Bunny Man. In Fairfax County, Virginia, there's a creepy old bridge known as the Bunny Man Bridge, and the legend behind it is as bizarre as it is terrifying. The story begins in 1904 when a bus transporting asylum patients crashed. All were found except one. Soon after, locals began finding skinned, hanging rabbits near the bridge. Decades later, in 1970, the legend came to life. A couple parked near the bridge reported being attacked by a man in a white bunny suit. He smashed their car window with a hatchet and shouted that they were trespassing. Just 10 days later, a construction worker had a similar encounter. The axe-wielding figure threatened to chop off his head. Police reports were filed. Witnesses were real, yet the bunny man was never caught. Today, the bridge remains a hotspot for thrill seekers, but locals warn visitors to stay away after dark. Urban legend? Maybe. Too many encounters suggest something or someone is still out there. Because as you've seen sometimes, the scariest urban legends turn out to be true.